No, thank you very much, Chair. My name is Sihle Lonzi, a member of the Portfolio Committee and Parliament, deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters. Thank you, Mr. Dlela, for re-availing yourself. I believe you are sitting in the current board.
Yes, that is correct.
And perhaps this question will be relevant to you as someone who would sit in this board, and I see on your CV on other boards. So when people speak about the King report on corporate governance, I think the one that is so fashionable to reference is number 4. But what a lot of people don't know is that King report on corporate governance is a development of one, which was, in 94, and then the early 2000s, 2, and then 3, then 4. So perhaps take us through. I want to get your understanding of the development of that particular document, because I think it informs a lot of the things that you'd be dealing with at a governance level. So please take us through your understanding of the development of the King report on corporate governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lonzi. I hope I said it well, Lonzi.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Thank you, Chair. It's important to say a person's name right, especially when they can say Mr. Ndlela. Look, Honorable Lonzi, the rules on corporate governance, as per the King Committee, by the Right Honorable Gentleman Mervyn King, what they do is they are a guide to companies on how to deal with corporate governance. But the recent court judgments have said in South Africa, for public listed companies plus state-owned enterprises, they are no longer a guide. They are now have got the same effect as law. How this develops is when you hand over someone a company to run, you need to trust that that person understands their duty in relation to the shareholders and in relation to how the community they are in is going to be affected. Now, this change is what you would have seen in the versions from version 1, version 2, and almost in version 3. You would have had a shareholder-centric approach where the role of the board of directors is to make sure that they increase value for the shareholder. So the shareholder is almost like an alpha and omega. But when you go to number 4, the King Code 4, which is the current codes right now, I'm aware there is a King 5 is now up for public comments, but it hasn't been, for that process hasn't been finalized. But if you go to the IODSA website, you would find it for public comment. What the King 4 did, it moved away from what you would call a shareholder primacy kind of regime into a stakeholder understanding, where to say the value is not just to the shareholder anymore. It's now to the stakeholders, which may include your workers, if it's a private company, which may include the surrounding community of a university where the university exists. Like in the case of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, it exists within a particular community. That university, when it reports in the integrated report, it must not just report on its effect to how much it has acquired and how much money it has increased for the shareholder, but it must also respond onto its activities here. How has these activities affected the broader community it surrounds in? What is the environmental impact of a particular plastic manufacturing company into the work? So relating to the NYDA, it really helps us, if you apply King 4, to not only look at the numbers. Colleagues, we come here and we show you the numbers. We say to you, we've funded this amount of people, and we do so because we are required by law to come and give you the numbers, because when the financial year starts, we show you the numbers. But when the financial year ends, we need to come and say, what we said before ties up to this. But honorable members also know there's something that this committee does called oversight visits. There we are not showing numbers. There we are taking you to a human being and saying, here is a young person, we have assisted with this, this is the business. So we're now doing what? Impact. Now it's no longer about numbers, it's impact. And I'm aware we were supposed to do it at the beginning of January, end of January. It couldn't happen. I'm sure we are going to do it soon. I've been made aware that it's going to come to KZN, if I'm not mistaken, very soon. So there we are taking you, Honorable Lonzi, by hand and saying, here's a person. It's not a number, this is a person, and they tell you their story and they show the equipment if you bought equipment. So then it's more of a stakeholder impact on the kind of work that we do. So this is the changes, the evolution throughout the years that has allowed where we are today. And obviously with King 5, we shall wait and see where we are going.
Thank you, Sompisi. Dr. Leklape.
Where are we?
Okay.
We have an esteemed candidate all over the place.
Good governance.
Eh?
Good governance.
Good governance.
Yes.
Okay. They say we're going to talk about good governance with you. And my name is Sihle.
Yes.
Full name is Sihle.
Sihle.
I hope you'll try
that.
I'm an alternate number.
Yes.
Now, since it's on governance, I'll just follow on what you've just told us about King 3, King 4, imminent King 5. And the fact that when it comes to state-owned enterprise are dealt with like commercial companies. In terms of the NYDA, having a component where you're giving grants, you're now giving loans, does that change the nature of the company? Are you now a trading company? Because when you give loans, people have to pay you back. Where would you be governed now? Would it be PFMA that has preference? Would it be King Code that has preference? Would you be a hybrid? And just in addition to that, you've spoken about the delegation of authorities. It should be a governance document, separating or guiding the issues of an executive chair. Do you think it is advisable to continue with a chair that is executive going forward? Or is there potential for governance challenges as you go forward? Because, you don't want to write rules for the presidency that are written for Mandela and then Trump comes along.
Thank you very much, honorable member. I think the important thing is maybe let me just give a bit of a correction. We don't give loans now. It's the other way around. We used to give loans when we were Schedule 1. We are now a Schedule 3. We don't give loans, we give grants. So we are indeed, we function differently. Because as a Schedule 1 PFMA company, we were alongside your IEC, your demarcation boards and stuff like that. But now we have moved to Schedule 3, which has its limitations, which include the fact that we can't go to the capital market and raise, because we're not like ESCOM, who are Schedule 2, who can go on the capital market and raise funds, which is why none of the solutions and the ideas that I came with include going to the capital market to raise funds, because by law, a Schedule 3 cannot do that. We don't have the borrowing capacity, which also means we can't be given a bailout, because our debt can't be guaranteed, which is why we don't have any debt. So we are governed slightly differently because of that. It's true, our business has changed, but it has changed to the other way, as the honorable member was suggesting. We were not going the other, but we are still part of PFMA. Every state entity, if you are in municipality, it's called MFMA. But when you handle taxpayers' money, you've got to be able to be aligned, with the proper handling of public finances.